Three, two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's live, and it's Saturday night on the Chrissy Ann Show. On tonight's panel, guitarist, drummer, bassist extraordinaire, and a man who, when throwing up, re-eats his own vomit, Nick Burns. Tonight's panel, guitarist, drummer, bassist extraordinaire, and a man who, when gotta turn that off.
I thought it was turned off, and I all need okay.
Oh my god! And placed, shaped within a dungeon in Transylvania.
Dun, dun,
Father
dun,
Menace.
dun, dun, dun.
Gentlemen,
Hello, YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Trumpster Bob. Welcome, Warhorse. Welcome, Lee. Welcome, Rye Girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are short some panel people today, but that's okay, because the ones that matter are here. It's me and Father Menace.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I think he was a little sore from last night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got stretch marks around the corners of his mouth.
Oh, God. You know, this is like a PG thing, right? I guess from what is it true what the rumors are? He went back after, our show to go talk to that guy again. Did they hook up? What's the story on that, Father? I know you were talking to him last.
Yeah, we went on. We talked for hours afterwards, and there were times where he was breaking down and crying, and I was consoling him, and he was confused and all this stuff, and then he was like, but also he was like, but I feel like I'm in love. And so he I don't know, like I think they're going to the movies or something. I think there's something
is that why he's late? Yeah, well, him not being here is gonna have to, he's not able to defend himself, so that's what he gets.
Yeah, he kept going on and on. He kept going on and on about how, like, he was gonna have his popcorn buttered something.
Oh, wow.
Extra butter or something.
Yummy. That's some goodness right there. Some delish. That's right, girl. I'm going to get yelled at after this. But anyways, yeah, so there's a lot going on. I kind of wanted to talk about this last night, and I'm sorry, you guys, I have a really bad headache, so that's why I'm not on camera. My eyes are puffy, and I'm going to see if I can get these visual aids up tonight, because there is something kind of interesting going on with Julian Assange. And let me see, I'm going to pull up these photos. Let me see if I can get it to work tonight. So Julian Assange, as you all know, he was arrested. And all the stuff that's going on after it. So I find it really interesting. Hillary Clinton is all excited because she feels like he's finally going to get his. And, here's the thing is that he's not, he, getting his is I think she's going to get hers is what's really going to happen. As far as the WikiLeaks is concerned and the people surrounding it, Chelsea, or I want to say Chelsea Handler. What's the gal's name that used to be a guy? So his charges.
Chelsea Manning.
Yeah, Chelsea Manning. Thank you. What was her name used to be?
Oh, Oh, it'll come to me. But he was in the military and
Yeah.
got in trouble because of leaking documents.
Well, let me see if I can get this up for you guys. Where are we at here? Last time it wouldn't let me share.
How could that many men be so confused?
I don't know. Oh, here we go. So this is
I don't know, but
something.
Go ahead.
This was something interesting that I found. If you guys can see in this, when they were carrying out Julia Assange, he was carrying this book by Gore Vidal, who was known to be kind of a, I mean, his writings were pretty intense, but very interesting. Um, and so I just kind of wanted to touch basis on this and kind of show you what that was all about, and kind of something that was in his book. I've got it in here somewhere. I should have been a little bit more prepared.
Well, Julia Assange looked like a combination of Santa Claus and Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard.
He sure did, didn't he? That guy, he's been living a sentence already. He's been in total solitude. He's the poor guy, it's not been fair. And here's the thing, he's been under extra scrutiny, he's been under extra surveillance. And here's the thing, his lawyers, I was listening to his lawyers today, and they were basically blackmailing him. Not blackmailing him, what's the other term I'm looking for? His
Intimidation?
Not intimidation. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a headache. Not extortion. They were giving him extortion. So basically, they've been surveillancing him. They've been surveillancing his lawyer. They've been violating his rights. And basically, they gave all this documentation to his lawyer and said, if you don't want us to spill all the beans, you better give us $3 million. But his lawyers went straight to the jail or went straight to the police and shared with them the information. But they said it was treasure trove of documents and surveillance information and pictures and passports, and I mean all kinds of nitty gritty information that they got on Julian Assange while he was in the Ecuadorian embassy. And the problem was that the Ecuadorian embassy in Spain was having some scandalous going on with their president. So that kind of got mixed in the equation. And so that a lot is going on with Julian Assange. And it's going to be interesting to see how the next week or so is going to go with the indictments and all that kind of stuff. And the Mueller report being Barr said the Mueller report is going to come out, so that's going to be really interesting. But I wanted to go back to this statement that Gore Vidal said: in a given moment, public opinion is a chaos of superstition, misinformation, and prejudice. I thought that was very how he was carrying that book, and this guy, the author of that book, is known for saying this. So I just thought that was something I thought would share with you guys, to just kind of make you things that make you go, because is he trying to say
everybody's one?
Is he trying to say something to us? Is he trying to be cryptic? Can you guys see this? You guys, okay, yeah, you guys see it. So is he trying to be cryptic? Is he trying to tell us something? What's he trying to do? Because, the Clintons are out there saying he's this, horrible person, and, he should basically be, have to pay for his crimes. But his crimes are really not that bad, compared to some.
Yeah, if people are wondering why it sounds like I'm in a tin can, it's because I'm on the road.
Yeah. Well, we know you live in a tin can. It's okay. We still love you the same. But yeah, so and oh, and here's something else that came up to this week is you know how Obama said that he was a scandalous free president?
Huh, yeah.
His main counsel, his main lawyer in the administration is just was indicted for the same thing Flynn was indicted for, but his is proven, and it is out. It's outrageous that what he's done.
Well, let's start off with uh, Barack Obama's real name, which is Barrios Ortoro.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how this next couple of weeks goes because I'm kind of excited. I'm getting I don't know if I'm getting my hopes up or or if it's just because people like people who follow Q and all that kind of stuff like the arrest, the arrest, the arrest. Well, here's the thing: if there's going to be arrests, there's so many things that have to happen. Look at the Ninth District in California. That judge, he's an activist. He's not a judge. He doesn't do things by the book. He's very much biased in his rulings. And it's very obvious because whenever they want to sue Trump or his administration, they always take it to the Ninth District, right? But I thought it was really funny when he decided to ship off all the immigrants, illegal immigrants, to the sanctuary cities, which I'm happy about and not so happy about because, well, I live in a sanctuary city.
Come on! Don't you want a bunch of tent in your front yard?
Well, here's the
Porta
thing.
potty?
I just went to the store just not too long ago, and I was actually on the phone with GA, and there was a group of I don't know if they're illegal or not illegal, but there was about 5 of them. And I smiled at them because I try to be friendly. I mean, people are still people, even though I don't agree with, if they should be here or not should be here. And I don't know if they're here legally or not. So, I'm just going to assume the best and, try to be positive no matter what. And they just growled at me and looked at me like they were going to take me down. I didn't understand that. I was like, I don't know. It just seems lately, I hate to use the race card, but I feel lately that, I've been called out because I'm white.
Well, no, you're not white, are you?
That just the, alabaster skin is, I know it's a little crazy, misleading.
No, you're white. I never would have guessed.
Uh,
Well,
Lee.
I'm not white. I'm black and white. I mean, just,
I thought you were gray. uh,
well,
Hey, I want to say hello to everybody. We got Warhorse in the house. We got Lee Pure Imagination TV in here. Rye Girl, Red Ghost Outdoors. Thank you for subscribing. I just saw that pop up on my emails. Bruce, faithful Bruce. You go to any chat, there's Bruce. Bruce is the universal one and only cheerleader in all chats. We love having him. Let's see who else is in here. And Trumpster Bob. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, Omar. Oh my gosh. You guys want to talk about Omar? Because we can bring it on. We can bring it on.
do we have to?
They're bringing up Omar because she literally is a POS. I hate saying cuss words or swearing about a person, but that woman is getting on my last nerves. That wench, you know, I have family in the fire department, right? I have family there was a kid that my nephew knew, who was in the fire department, who was a bone marrow, who donated his own bone marrow, and he was, I think it was ladder 4 or truck 4, and he was one of the kids that died in 9/11. And how dare you? And then my family, we're all first responders, went there. So, I have loved ones that had to face that tragedy. I had people that, I cared about. And how dare you minimize it, and then you turn around and you try to take my president and make him look like the bad guy. Here, this little wench, this little piece of, what I'm going to say, comes to my state and go and at a care conference. That care conference is the one who is tied to Hamas, who is tied to the people who are saying death to America. She talks about how oppressed she is. She's a congresswoman, for crying out loud, and she wants to talk about how oppressed she is, and she can say anti-Semitic things. She can say racist things about white people. If there's anybody inciting any violence towards anybody, it's her citing violence against white people and Jewish people. It's her and Rashid who are talking crap about Israel and talking crap about the Jews. And yet she's going to play the victim card. And AOC, get off your freaking high horse and get a grip, girl.
Yeah. I hope another woman serving in our Congress, I hope another woman gets so fed up with her, she just beats her ass in the hallway on camera so the whole world can see it.
Oh, and God
grabs
forbid
the laundry
it be a
off
woman.
the dirty, grabs the dirty laundry off her head, beats her ass. She went from a tent city in Africa to now she's in the United States Congress. I mean, yeah, you want to talk about a POS. I mean, you can put her up on the pedestal on top of the POS.
I'm sorry to get all grouchy on you guys. I try to keep things a little bit lighthearted in here, but you know what? Some things just have to be said. And here's the thing: we all need to wake up. We need to make some. We need to show this country, and we need to show these Democrats that their BS is over. You guys, I'm really encouraging you to go to your town halls, get involved. I mean, YouTube is great for getting information, but it's meaningless unless we are actually doing something. I think it's great. We all have channels and we're all exchanging subscriptions and that encouragement is definitely needed. But we need to take it one step further. We need to take it to the streets. We need to take it to our representatives. And, we need to make the change, because here's the thing, out in California, in some of our districts, they were definitely red districts. Orange County was heavily red, and it voted.
Yeah,
it just flipped on a switch.
That was a scam. That whole in Orange County where you're at, we're going to talk about voter fraud. Just look towards Orange County. Start there and then go on down. And you'll find it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's ludicrous. And and you have Kamala Harris asking for, it's not American to ask people whether they're are citizens or not citizens in the upcoming census next year. Well, here's the thing. She doesn't want that, because the more people in their districts give them more clout, right? They get more representatives and more, Democrats in the House and in Congress and all that kind of stuff. That's why they don't want to. You know what? If you came here illegally, like Omar, you should not have a right to vote.
Her teeth drive me nuts. Her front teeth, they just keep flying out of her face.
Are you talking about Omar or AOC?
Yeah. When she talks, she's talking through her front teeth. Watch her, you watch her next time. She's got all kinds of dental disaster right there in her front, right there on the top teeth. Her teeth are flying out of her face. He's talking through her teeth. She got dirty laundry on her head. Can't stand that woman.
And it's really funny because she tries to represent, the Muslim ideology or whatever. I'm not even calling it religion because it's an ideology. She tries to represent it, but she's not even representing it correctly. She's supposed to cover from, she wears that turban on her head. That's not, she's supposed to wrap her neck and her chest. She wears tight fitting clothes. So she's not even following the religion. She's just a symbol. She's just um what's it called?
Fraud.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Straight to the point. She's a freaking fraud. And
she's a fraud. She's a fraud like so many people in politics. Politics is a dirty, filthy sport.
It's what it's become. There's no honor in it anymore.
I don't know if it's ever clean, but.
And I think as, citizens and as, the middle class, we have to depend on hoping that they're honest. But I mean, both sides. I'm talking both sides because when, before I was a nurse, I was, in the real estate and development. And so, part of my job was, rubbing elbows with the local politicians. And, my district was Republican. So they're dirty. They're dirty. It's the good old boy club.
Yeah. So how many times did you have to disinfect the ringworm on your elbows?
Oh man, it was brutal. It was really brutal. Like I went through my divorce in my early 30s, and when I became single, the game changed, and what was expected of me changed. And at first I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it. I felt a little glamorous. I was a little starstruck. And once I really understood the seediness of it, that luster, that glam, it just totally faded away quick. It was just nothing.
When you realized that you could end up like Marilyn Monroe, you decided to get the hell out of Dodge.
Oh yeah, it's like and things become meaningless. Yeah, I like nice stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's meaningless if there's, if it's just stuff. Providing for your family.
Well, if you acquire your stuff through underhanded, dirty, backroom, deals and stuff like that, you acquire your wealth that way. How could you enjoy? I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have a conscience or a soul, and most of them are in Washington D.C. or most of them have become politicians.
Yeah. Well, look at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, they make less than $200,000 a year as a senator, and yet her net worth is $200 million. Really?
Yeah.
We have to start looking. And here's the problem: the founding fathers of our Constitution, the founding fathers of this country, did not intend it to be this way. There are laws passed every day. We as Americans are probably breaking a law right now that we don't know of, And
I know I'm breaking a law right now.
I know, lawbreakers. I fought the law, the law won. But I want to give a hellos out here. GTO Mama's in here. Shonda's in here. Joshua is in here. Let's see. Vet's Perspective is in here. Coco Loco's in here. GTO Mama. One of my Michelle's in here. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody so far. But welcome all. Welcome to the party. Sidekick Nick isn't here. He's on a date with the guy he met last night.
Yeah.
I
I,
so
I,
DM's not in here.
I,
This is DM's fault. She's gonna have
I
to
was
pay for the
about ready to.
therapy.
I was about ready to text Nick to see if his transition is complete.
Maybe they're he's eating too much soy or something.
No, I think it's round 2 of Brokeback Mountain.
Uh-oh, the documentary.
You know, it's like, oh, let's watch Brokeback Mountain one more time, an encore. You know, extra butter on the popcorn and Brokeback Mountain. I was like, good God, I'm getting nauseous.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's crazy. But back to Nancy Pelosi and here's the thing that we need to do. We need to let them know. We need to hold them accountable. We need to start, supporting, people like Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton. There's another one. I guess he was actually founder of Judicial Watch. I don't know much about him. I just learned about him the other day. But he's going after Hillary too. So I think the more of us, oh, and two, I got a personal message here. I want to give a shout out to Ray. I want to give a shout out to Ash, and I want to give a shout out to Drew. Hope you feel better, boo. And there's special listeners listening in the background, so I just wanted to give a shout out to them. But yeah, so
Ooh, special. Ooh.
It's a special shout out. DA on her.
The thing is like we all need to see her get punched right in her face. That's what we need to see.
Right. We need to start, Nancy Pelosi's, they wanted to, bust these immigrants. And we're talking about millions. They want millions of these immigrants coming in. And what they want is the same exact thing that's going on in France. Look at the yellow vests that are going on right now.
No.
They're trying to suppress us here on YouTube and social media. They're trying to, we need to have some type of networking system beyond social media, because here's the thing, even with social media, and two, Liberty Rush, if you guys don't have an account with Liberty Rush, I definitely advise you to go to Liberty Rush. They're non-biased, they don't censor, and he's a friend of mine, and he's a really cool dude. So we need to support him because he's trying to help us out. And so if you want a non-censoring social media app, go to Liberty Rush. Yeah, douchebag is in the house too. So yeah, we definitely, guys, I really encourage you, find out who your representative, how many in the chat right now know who your representative is. How many times have you talked to them? How many times have you reached out to them? Try to find a town hall. Yeah. Speak up. Go to their Facebook.
I mean, listen, if the hard left, if they want Red Dawn, if they really want that, bring it on. Let's just do it. Let's just get on with it. All right? If they want Red Dawn, let's just do it and get it over with.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
let's
just get it on. Let's just get on. Let's just get it on.
I think they're trying to provoke that. I mean, look at with Omar. I think they're trying to do that. They want the division. They want the fighting, because if we're fighting amongst ourselves, what we need to do is we need to start red pilling people. And I think that's what Trump is doing. Trump is the master troll here. What he's showing the hypocrisy. He said, okay, you want these immigrants? Let's dump them off in the sanctuary cities. And you know what? As much as I hate the idea, I love the idea. And I only love the idea because it shows the hypocrisy. Because as soon as he said that, you've got people like, the porn star Alyssa Milano, and Nancy Pelosi and all them saying, "Oh, that's horrible." That's just a hypocrisy. And that's exactly why he did it. He's not, for him to do it and to go through that would just, he's not, that's not his goal. His goal is to stop it.
You mean Brunhilde from Calabasas? I mean, she looks like a movie that was made in like 1970 about an orphanage, and the mother, the house mother that runs the orphanage and beats the children with broomsticks. That's what she looks like. Her hair's pulled in that tight bun. She's always got that stink face. She's always miserable. She's just a shrew. She's a joyless wretch.
Yeah.
Stand her.
Yeah, but somebody says we need a volunteer at the border. Yeah, I'm all for it. Somebody says we got to have faith. You know what? And here's the thing. People, the left try. I just really just, you guys know, I have a strong faith in my Lord Jesus Christ, and I love my God. And here's the thing: when these demonic entities use scripture try to defend what they're trying to do, they're trying to use scripture to defend their destruction of our country, our God-given country. It just boils my blood. It just boils it to, oof.
Yeah, they're a bunch of clowns. They look like, for instance, like Beto, Robert O'Rourke, the phony Latino. This guy's so artificial. He's so synthetic. It's amazing. He's so robotic and coached. And it's almost like he before he goes into a place to speak somewhere, he's got coaches in the back room somewhere, and they're going over the script and all that. I mean, God, it's so fake. It's amazing to me how people are unable to see the fakery from O'Rourke and Bernie Sanders. I mean, honestly, you must have your brain shut off completely not to see through the BS. It truly amazes me. I mean, it's astounding. I'm like, I watch it and I'm like, really? You can't see the BS? Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, God said in the end times, people are going to be blind, and people are not going to see what the truth is. And that's exactly where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. There's this, Soros-driven, Rothschild-driven, demonic, satanic-driven, agenda that they're using, and they're using it globally. If you compare us to, all the other countries, it's exactly what they're doing. They want this massive immigration of oppressed-minded people who fear the government, and they're looking, they're looking for handouts. They're looking for the freebies. And, and as long as they get that,
they're frisbees.
Yeah. And, So, yeah. So, I mean, that's what it's coming down to. So we need to start standing up. We need to start organizing. We need to start holding.
Yeah, we need to learn to make a fist and punch him right square in the nose.
Yeah, because at Nancy Pelosi's office, people did show up to her office, and Maxine Waters, a bunch of people. Maxine Waters, her last town hall meeting, it was majority of the people that showed up were anti-Maxine, and she couldn't control it, and they don't know what to do. So we need to start going to their offices. We need to start asking questions. You know what? Nancy Pelosi's office knows my number. They don't answer my phone calls anymore. But I shouldn't be the one doing this alone. They need to, we need to call them, and we need to call them out. We need to not just call them out, but we need to call their staff out too, because they're the ones that are supporting them. They're the ones that are feeding them the information. They're the ones who are writing their speeches. They're the ones that are organizing their events. They're just as responsible as who represents them.
That almost sounds like what you would use when you get bitten by a snake. You would use the anti-vaccine. Like you get bit by a venomous snake and you're like, oh my God, I'm close to death. And then someone jabs you in the ass with an epi type thing device, and it says anti-vaccine on there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I'm feeling so much better now.
My question about Maxine though, how freaking big is her mouth? Like what? Like she could eat like a whole grapefruit and swallow it and not have a problem.
Yeah. Look how big her mouth is. Why everybody in her district is under a bridge starving to death.
Ugh.
So she's up in her castle, stuffing her face with cake and whatever else she's stuffing her face with, and her big, fat, ugly face. I mean, she looks like, when we started developing technology where we could go into the depths of the ocean, into the abyss, and then all of a sudden they started seeing all these weird creatures, and they discovered like there was these fish down there. I mean, down in the abyss, and they had the ugliest mug. And I can't remember the name of this fish, but that's what Maxine Waters' face looks like.
It's like a bad rubber mask. Like her face just looks rubbery.
Yeah, it's like something right out of a John Carpenter movie. Like if you wanted to make a newer version of Halloween, and you instead of Captain Kirk's rubber mask, which was what that was originally, you would use the Maxine Waters mask. Oh, you want to talk about making a horror movie?
Oh,
you would just use that.
Her mouth hinges like a snake. Warhorse says Schmucky Chucky Schumer. I like that one.
I mean, have you ever watched? Did anybody ever watch Fat Albert?
Hey.
Well, she looks like one of the characters in Fat Albert.
Yeah, she does. She does. She kind of looks like her lower face looks like Fat Albert.
But there was a character in Fat Albert that actually sounded like Maxine Waters. It had that. Remember that Obama phone lady? I got the Obama phone, and you got the Obama phone. Remember that? That's what she sounds like, and that's the character in Fat Albert, man.
Oh my gosh. But hey, I mean, talk about California.
You can't even make it up.
We got Dave Nunez. He's this is funny. Talk about Trump being the master troll, man. He was talking about pencil neck shift. They just passed it's called the Pencil Act or the Pencil Bill, and basically it could cost his security clearance there, because what he's done is he has definitely violated some laws and some ethics with his security clearance and letting information leak. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks. I'm kind of excited about that, but I just thought that was funny. He called them pencil neck, and then now they call it the pencil bill.
Yeah, I'm sure something else. I'm sure something else on his anatomy is the size of a pencil. Other than his neck.
What? His fingers?
Well, I mean something that's supposed to define him as a man, I guess. He's the farthest thing from that.
Douche says every time Maxine Waters smiles, it's Halloween.
I mean, every time she smiles, another rat jumps out of her mouth.
Ugh, her district is so nasty. my last job, the corporate office was in her district, and it stunk. Like,
Now,
even in the car, it stunk. Like, and I had a good filtration system on my car, and it stunk.
You tell me, what job in private industry, if you get hired as a CEO or management, you tell me in the private industry, you come in and somebody's retiring, okay? You come into the whatever company, and then as soon as you start, the company goes down the drain. I mean, production, everything. People are showing up drunk and this, that, and the other. I mean, the whole place. You would be fired. You wouldn't last a year, six months. You would be fired, canned. So how is it these politicians can they can just ruin everything, not have to be accountable, and get reelected, rehired, and the place is a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at AOC, for example. She was a bartender, and now she's in Congress thinking she can tell how every American should live their life, and how every American should pay, 90% taxes. And,
I want to challenge her. I want to give AOC a challenge. A mixologist, a mixing drink challenge. See how good of a bartender she is. I bet you she mixed the shittiest drinks. I mean, just awful. Like, they're not even made right. She's just throwing anything in there. Like, oh, well, we can't put that in there because that's a little racist.
Yeah.
If you order a White Russian, we can't put that in there.
She uses white water for the creamer or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, talk about, AOC and taxes. What Bernie's trying to pass? He's on this bill trying to pass Medicare for all, right? And here's something sneaky in that bill. Let's say you have cancer, right? So, I mean, look at the VA. The VA is a mess. Anything that the government runs is a mess, right? Just like you just said, it goes to crap, right? They don't have a track record to save their life, right? So the DMV, all of that stuff. So now they want to run our medical systems, right? Take private payout, take private insurance out, take out all the industry, which would actually hurt a lot of people. But so they would take all of that out. And then so now, and in that bill they're trying to pass is that if, let's say you have cancer, right? So now it doesn't matter where you are in the line, you're going to have to wait your turn, right? So now it's a mess and you cannot bypass that line. Even if you had the money and had a private doctor, you could not pay to be expedited. So if you are in that line and you have a life-threatening illness or debilitating illness, you're not going to be able to get help if you can pay for it. You have to wait in line. And if you look at Canada, like for their non-emergency, like you need to have your septum, reconstructed or whatever, you DNA septum, it's a 5-year wait at the minimum. And so they want to enforce this on us. The Constitution does not matter to the socialists. They want to digress in these ideologies and these theories and these agendas what our country was founded on. And it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I want you to tell me who's really doing the work. Okay, AOC she wins the election, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want it. Listen, it's just listen. Being in Congress is the biggest scam of all time. These people don't do a damn thing. They're surrounded by these little minions, these PAs, these little minions are surrounding everyone in Congress that are doing all the work, and they just put their face on camera. They don't do a damn thing. They don't do anything, and they get all these perks. They get all the, they get their medical perks. They get their stipends. They get their parking. This, that. I mean, they get all kinds of perks being in Congress, and it's a scam. These people they don't do anything. They got everyone around reading everything, going over everything, and then they hand them after it's all been siphoned through. They give it to her or whatever. It's already been done, and they just skim through it. It's the biggest scam. It's the biggest. That job is the biggest scam of all time.
Well, and here's the thing that I want to definitely emphasize to the listeners and the chat in here. This is the thing that we really, really need to pay attention to. Look at who's funding these people. Look at who's backing these people up. You need to pay attention to them, because this is not a US thing. This is a political thing. This is a global thing. And the UN, the United Nations, is backed up by the globalists who want Agenda 2020, 21, whatever. They want to get rid of the Western culture, because the Western culture we only represent 1% of the population, right? So 1% of the population uses 80% of its resources, of the world's resources, right? There is, there's definitely, I'm not with AOC and the Green Deal, and I don't think we're gonna, the world's gonna end in 12 years, but there are some, issues in this world with the resources and so on and so forth, and emissions.
What's the population of China?
I think it's 3 or 4 billion.
Yeah, I mean, how much resources do they use?
Well, I don't know how much resources they use, but their pollutants and India's pollutants is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can attest. I've been to China, I've been to Hong Kong, and there's definitely a heavy, heavy haze there. India, last time I was in India and I traveled, I mean, I literally had black sticky soot on my clothes from just being in there, and I definitely got really, really nauseous just from the pollution. I mean, it's just thick. It's like it's the haze is a super cloudy day. That's how bad the pollution is there. And it's even at night, you can see the pollution. That's how bad it is. And but here's the thing, they don't use, even in those countries, you have a family of 5, you may or may not have a car, and they all live in maybe a 300-400 square foot home. They have one bathroom, and like shampoos come in packets. I mean, they definitely don't use the resources as we do here. And but it's the Western culture, like here, California, almost everybody has a car. I live in a neighborhood, and there's, everybody here has a lot of stuff, and
but the thing is like, everyone in LA in 2019 has a car, pretty much. I mean, but anyways, but if you were to compare 1975 air quality of Los Angeles to 2019, and you still have tons of cars on the road. I mean, last time I was in Los Angeles, the haze was barely even there.
Oh yeah, like the pollution in California, there's a huge difference from when I was a kid. Huge difference.
Yeah.
The pollution is not bad at all. It's probably the chemtrails are probably what doing us in, but
I mean, we're a clean country. I mean, the thing is like we develop ways. The United States is a clean country. The United States is not dirty at all. Even if you were to go to the grimiest city, the sky is blue and the air is clean.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. But back to my point, though, is that we have these extreme leftists they're not even Democrats anymore. These socialist communists that are their agenda is no longer an American agenda. It's a destruction of the American ideology. It's the destruction of the founding ideas of America, because one, they want to get rid of us. Two, they want to, I mean, if you look globally, look at all the Western countries right now. Poland is, they're getting heat because they're not taking any refugees. They're not taking any, they're doing what they can to save their country. And you know what? Good for them. I'm glad they're standing up. Because here's the thing. I do believe in giving asylum to refugees. I do believe that. But real asylum to real refugees that are vetted, who are willing to stand for what, to be thankful for this country. Like Omar, she got here illegally. She was fraudulent, and she talks about being oppressed. She talks about all this, discrimination towards her, but yet she's a congresswoman. Yet she's sitting in a pretty house. Yet she can spout out, if she was to talk that negatively about somebody in Somalia, where she's from, she'd die. She would die. And you know what? They would care less because, one, she's a woman. So this whole woman of color, we're attacking her because she's a woman of color. Oh, stick it where the sun don't shine. But
yeah, well, the thing is, she wouldn't even, listen, the United States gave them asylum. Where would she be if the United States didn't do that? She would either be dead, or she would be completely walking around like a zombie.
Right.
As a prostitute or God knows what, or she would just be dead.
Yeah.
That's a thanks. That's the thanks she gives.
Well, yeah.
This country.
In this country, even in the condition that California's in, I'm so grateful, because right now it's 10 o'clock at night. Even if it's at 1 o'clock in the morning, I can go down to Walgreens at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and go get, cough medicine if I have to, or go get milk, or go get some chocolate if I'm feeling like, or a drink. I can go get a drink. And, obviously you have to use, be careful and cautious, but I can do it. I'm not going to get ridiculed. I'm not going to, my chances of getting raped or hurt are very low, in comparative to other countries. Last time I was in India, the week I was in there was a gal in the village I was in, and she was gang raped and cut into pieces. And,
What?
Yeah, a farmer's dog dragged her leg, and then they found her cut into pieces.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Tourists in India have been gang raped on buses. That was
so. Here you go. This is irritating the hell out of me. So you have people coming from Guatemala, they're coming through Mexico, they're coming up to the United States border. So you tell me, I want somebody in the chat or anybody to tell me, who the hell are these people in this caravan that think like, oh, look, there's a 9-year-old little girl. Let's take her into the woods and rape the hell out of her. And you want that? You want that in our country?
It's the mentality, because here's the thing. Despite some of our laws being twisted, and whether you agree with law enforcement or not, there are good law enforcement officers out there. There are people that do uphold the laws, right? So, I have a school that's, down the street from me. The kids walk home safely, and they couldn't. I, as a grown woman, can, I used to jog at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not a big deal, right? There was no way that I could ever be safe jogging in any of those countries at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ever.
I don't get it.
I couldn't even go on the bus. I always had to have security with me wherever I went.
Where does that come? Where does that come from? I don't get it. Where does that come from? Where is this being taught? Who is teaching these people to rape little children along the trail to the United States border. How are they learning this? Where is it coming from? And then, of course, over in Europe, where they're gang raping women and killing them. And in England, there's instances where the children were chopped up and put in sausage casings. And this is true. This is not. I'm not making this up. These Muslim men were sent to prison for this.
Well,
They nailed a girl. They nailed a girl to a table.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not making it up. This is the reason why Tommy Robinson went to jail.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. In the Nordic countries, rape went up 1,000%. Because here's the ideology of these, backwoods Muslim idiots, is that
Yeah, they're all in. There's a lot of inbred. There's a lot of inbreeding.
if a woman is not covered up, she's free game. And that's what they're taught. And here's the thing. The things that are missing in these countries is, one is God. And two, here's the other thing. They have no sense of authority. There's no accountability. So like in India, for example, you can do whatever you want as long as you have enough money, and you can pay off whoever you need to pay off. And that's just the way it is. And so there's no accountability. There's no, and there's no God. So you have no fear of God, no fear of authority. So yeah, and if you don't have a God, you're going to be a dark person. You're going to be, your flesh and your evilness is going to take over. And it was really weird because I was staying for a while. I was in the state of Assam, which is like the northeastern part. It's closer to China. It's actually very, very pretty. And I was staying in the state's capital in Guwahati, and it was mostly temples, right? And the one god in the Hindu or Sikh religion is that he's considered like the son of God. He's the Ganesh. He's the elephant. That he's very popular because if you want money, he's the one you want to worship. So there's a lot of temples to Ganesh and all that kind of stuff. And so it's always loud and it's always crazy. And there's like this constant chaos that's going, and it's dirty, and then where we were going to build a hospital, somebody said, "Hey, do you know it's a lot quieter here? The horns aren't honking as much. The people are a little bit more go among their business in a little bit more orderly fashion. They don't push each other. They wait in line and stuff like that." And I go, "Yeah." They said, "There's no temples here. It's all churches." And it was just, it was like there was a peaceful feeling in this area, and to have it in such a contrast was amazing. It was like you definitely felt the presence of God in this city that was next to this other city that was full of temples. And I think that's the key that's missing. That's the huge key that's missing in any evil act. But when you have it in such concentrations like that, it becomes an everyday thing. It becomes, rape is fine. Killing children is fine. Throwing people off a building is fine. It's an everyday, and the things that I saw in Syria, I would never want to broadcast what I saw, because it was unbelievable. The fact that people would use that type of imagination and that type of creativity to do something so dark and just serious and just, anyways.
Well, where are the mothers? Where are the mothers taking a frying pan and smashing the face of some pig wanting to rape a child? And there's plenty of little boys that get raped too. That's not just little girls.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a huge rape culture in those countries. Huge for boys and girls. And it's just, yeah, it's definitely. But and that's what people need to understand and realize, that we have it good in the United States, despite all the chaos that's going on politically, and that God gave us this country. God gave us this country. We have to defend it. We have to defend our rights, because let me tell you, especially you ladies out there listening, you don't want to live like that, especially living with the freedoms we have. You don't want to lose them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, here's the difference. I mean, here's the difference. You got here as in America, you know, as a little boy, I'm talking about myself, and then growing up, you go to the beach and you see girls in their bikinis and stuff. The first thing that comes to my mind is like, wow, those girls are cute. It never comes into my mind like, let's grab one of them and gang rape them in the alleyway somewhere. Never.
Mm-mm. No.
You know, it's like the women walk on the beach half naked, and American men just lay on their towels like, hey, what's going on? Sexy, and that's about it. So that's the difference. And if anybody doesn't see the difference, then I'm sorry, you're stupid.
Yeah. Sorry for getting a little too heavy, you guys. Sorry, right, girl. I don't want to get you guys emotional, but I just sometimes we got to hit low. I try to keep this fun. I try to keep this uplifted, and but our sidekick Nick is gone. And he usually doesn't let us get dark, but sometimes we got to let this information out though too. So I just be thankful, be thankful for the country we have, be thankful for the opportunities we have, but we can't let them slip away either.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Father.
No, I mean, it's listen, you're going to let, and I think about these European, especially like France, or honestly, I think about England, and when I was a little kid, I would watch Benny Hill, and I would watch Monty Python and the Young Ones and all this stuff out of England, and I used to, and now I'm thinking to myself, what has happened? What has happened to England? How could it fall so far down so fast, like a roller coaster? Like a roller coaster is going up to the top and then it goes down all the way.
Well, I think
it happened. It's almost like as soon as Margaret Thatcher and all that just fizzled and gone away, somewhere in the late 80s, transferring over to the 90s, somewhere that's where the takeover started happening.
Well, the thing is, it's by design. This is not good people fighting bad people. It's principalities that we're fighting against, you guys. This is a demonic force that we're fighting. This is not our world. This is a temporary place for us to get an understanding what's waiting for us, for us to understand what it is to be without. And what's going on has been predestined, has been planned, and so they are trying to destroy us by making us complacent. God gave us this wonderful, amazing country, and we become complacent. We become consumers. We become manipulated by stuff. We have our gadgets. We have our I live in a state where majority of people work 50, 60 hours. And that's what they're drilling into our kids. You're not, who can work the most is the most, honorable person. And that's the thing that we're missing is the people are working so hard for what? Stuff. Families are falling apart. The schools are raising our children and indoctrinating them with perversions and filth and smut. We're letting go of our love of God and our, sorry, you guys, I just got a message. We're losing sight of what's real and what we should be doing. And we need to it's just not the left. Let's point at the left. AOC's crazy, Omar's a racist idiot, Nancy's a drunk, and Maxine's got a rubber face. We need to look at ourselves too. What are we doing? We need to step up to the plate. We become a society. What can you look at somebody else, what can you do for me? I'm in a marriage, and not really, but people get in a marriage and that person doesn't make me happy anymore. That's not the mentality when you have a marriage. You should say, what am I doing to make that person happy? Our hearts are growing cold, and God warned us about it. He said in the days of Noah, hearts would grow cold.
I got a story, and it's an unbelievable story. It sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not making up one word of it. I'm in the New York City subway, all right? And this is like I think it was like 1997 or something like that. So I'm in the New York City subway. I'm going down the stairs. I can't remember what station it is. This person comes up to me out of nowhere and hands me it was like a little brochure, like a little pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
And this person had, I opened it up, and it was handwritten, and the graphics, the cartoonish type graphics, were also drawn by hand. And that person went to Kinko's and then had a bunch copied, handing them out. And he handed it to me, and I sitting on the subway train, and I'm looking at it, I open it up, and I'm reading it. This person had the drawing of a human head with a chip in its neck and an arrow pointing at it, and it said, "This is coming."
You know what? It's coming. It is coming. I was
like, at that time, I was like, what? And of course, here it is. I don't even know who this person was. This was a shadowy figure that just threw it in my hand.
It is coming. And here's something else that's really creepy that you guys need to know about. The Pope was just meeting with, oh gosh.
He's a scumbag. I can't stand him.
The Pope met with President Trump. Here it is. The Pope met with President Trump, and what they're trying to do is make the Sabbath to help with the Green Deal, to help with global warming and all that kind of stuff. They want to make this. They call it the Jewish Sabbath. They want to call it the Jewish Sabbath. They want to make that a day where it's mandatory that the government actually close down non-necessary businesses in order to save emissions. Now, you all think, well, that sounds really good, right? We need to, but here's the thing: we're giving up our rights. And who is the Pope to tell us how to run our country?
Well, this guy, he's a shadowy figure anyways. I can't stand
him. But, and the chips are going to come, this is what I think is a plausible theory. I'm a pre-rapture girl. I think, or pre-trib rapture girl. I think the rapture is going to happen pre-trib, right? I think, and I think what's going to happen is when the rapture happens, all these kids are going to be missing and all these people are going to be missing. And to help people, calm down, or to, so to prevent it from happening, or to try to figure out where these people went, they're going to use the chip, to one, that's going to be the mark of the beast. And two, that's their excuse that they're going to use to insert the chip into people. But they're already using, Amazon has markets now where there's no cashiers. Whatever you pick up and put in your basket, it just by the activity of your phone and everything, and you just walk out and it charges you. There's no cashiers. So, yeah. But anyways, let's yeah, well, thank you, douche. Yeah, sometimes we got to get a little truthful in here. We got to get a little bit deep. I don't want to bring down your Saturdays. I promise you, next Friday it's going to be fun. In case you all, okay, just you guys need to make sure you put your alarms on, put in your phones or whatever you need to do. But yesterday we had Nick. Nick did his dare, and you guys watch yesterday's. If you guys didn't watch my show yesterday, please check it out because it was hysterical. DM, she's not in here tonight, but DM won the drawing for last week. And her winning was to pick somebody from the panel and to pick truth or dare. And she picked dare, and she picked Nick to go to a bar and buy a straight guy, a drink and talk to him with a limp wrist. And he did it. He even touched his face. It was hysterical. It was hilarious. I love Nick. And now we've lost Nick. He went on a date with the guy, so he'll give us an update tomorrow probably. But
yeah, he's transitioning, so.
but we've got Father Menace next Friday. Warhorse.
Who's that?
Warhorse won the bet, and Warhorse picked our one and only, our sweet Father Menace. So Father Menace on Friday has to dress up like the Easter Bunny and pass out hot dogs. So y'all give Warhorse a big thumbs up and a thank you for providing us entertainment on Friday night. So check in on Friday night, 9:00 LA time. And Father Menace will be providing our entertainment thanks to Warhorse.
Uh-huh.
Are you nervous, yeah. Father?
Who's Father Menace?
It's you.
Oh, it is? Okay. Am I nervous? I don't know. I mean, you could find me online probably doing more crazy things, but, I'll be in public. Hey, I guess we'll see what happens, it's all in good fun, and we have to have some humor, levity with all the, tonight was me and Chrissy Ann just, it builds up inside you to a point where you can't take it any longer. But now we got to bring the humor back in, and if I have to take one for the team and walk around as a giant bunny rabbit, then hey. But one thing for sure is I'll never be able to run for office, because as soon as I go on the campaign trail, there'll be video of me dressed up as a bunny rabbit and God knows what else. So my political career has been ruined.
Good night, Michelle. Yeah, well, you can thank Warhorse and Abigail too. Abigail said it was her idea, so you got to give her credit too. So love you, Abby. CLC in Florida says take it for the team Cottontail. He's a Floridian just like you. Hey, CLC, you might be able to find him. Good night,
Oh yeah.
That's perspective. God bless you too. Yeah, father won't get out of it, right, girl?
Yeah, so Nick right now is enjoying a marathon of Brokeback Mountain. So,
yeah. I'm sure we're gonna get it after he listens to this show.
He should have been on.
I know. He did say he could be late, but I mean, he didn't even show. He's like a no-show. Like, I'm not paying him.
I mean, hey, when you get into Brokeback Mountain, it's hard to get out.
Yeah. But yeah. But we're gonna wrap things up, you guys. I'm going to type my email in here. It's Chrissy Ann Caesar, and tomorrow is open mic. So I would love to have a few of you on the panel. We're going to be talking about current events, Assange, AOC, Omar, and if anything else happens too. And I kind of want to touch on the subject of that little boy that was thrown off the balcony. But yeah, so shoot me an email if you want to be on the panel, and you just have to have Google Hangouts is the only requirement, and just shoot me an email and let me know what you'd like to discuss, and yeah, we can have a few people on here tomorrow night, and I would love it. So Sunday nights is going to be open mic night. Did I get your email last night? Let me check. I didn't see it. But yeah, shoot me another one just in case, but I will definitely check for it, Warhorse. But yeah, I definitely, I appreciate you guys listening. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. I know it's kind of late for a Sunday night, but that's all the other YouTubers are usually done by then. So I try to not to conflict with any of y'all, which sucks because, some of you East Coast people I love. So if you guys can hang with me on a Sunday night that late, I'd appreciate it. And you want to take us out, Father?
I would just, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in on this Saturday Night Live. We will see you again tomorrow. Thank you once again for tuning in to the Chrissy Ann Show. Good night.
Good night. Love y'all. God bless.